For this week in working class history, we're mailing it back to 1970 and the largest wildcat strike in U.S. history. It involved post office workers who were members of a union by name only because at the time, they were still denied the right to collectively bargain for higher wages and better working conditions. And it showed. The environment in mail processing facilities was dismal and dangerous, and the pay was exceedingly low. Without collective bargaining rights, mail workers had to rely on the generosity of the government to receive pay raises, and that wasn't cutting it. And then after Congress did approve of a raise, it was way too small, just 4%. Meanwhile, lawmakers gave themselves a 41% raise. And that was enough to trigger the wildcat strike. It started in New York City with just a few dozen rank-and-file workers picketing outside Grand Central Station post office. Even though it was illegal for postal workers to strike, they did so anyway. And so too did about 200,000 other mail workers across the country that immediately started their own pickets. More than 200 cities, in addition to New York, saw mail strikes, including Detroit, Chicago, and Los Angeles, shutting down most of the U.S. postal system, roiling the stock market, and even impeding the war effort in Vietnam as young people weren't receiving their draft documents. Nixon called up the National Guard to deliver the mail, but that turned into a mess. He then threatened mass firings of striking postal workers, but backed off when other civil servants threatened to go on strike too if he did. The strike went on to last for 8 days before workers returned to their mail facilities with a promise of a pay raise. Nixon signed into law the Postal Reorganization Act of 1970, which reformed the post office and gave its workers collective bargaining rights for the first time, along with an 8% raise. A year later, the various postal unions joined together to create the American Postal Workers Union, which negotiated even higher wage increases and better working conditions. The Postal Reorganization Act did not give the workers a right to strike, which they technically still don't have. But as the strike of 1970 proved, if you're organized enough, it doesn't matter if the picket is legal or not. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new videos. Also, if you want to see Means Morning News in its complete form, not just the clips we post here, head on over to Means TV and get access to all our new episodes and our entire backlog, plus tons of other great movies and original TV shows.